Yes, now, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the TankNiplz YouTube channel, to another episode of Subway Surfers, to which I think is actually episode 67. Don't even say the joke or the meme. I could be wrong, so don't say it. It's hard to keep track of what number episode this is, but we're a long time into this series, and if you've not been here before, this is where I am fully trying to 100% complete Subway Surfers. That means all the challenges and unlock all the people. Obviously, we're not included limited challenges or limited characters or people and things that have come from updates. Obviously, everyone's came from an update at some point, you know. So, obviously, no further updates from when we are starting this. And while I do that, I like to talk sometimes bullshit, you know. In other episodes, I used to talk about boxing and wrestling predictions. Then I decided to make a whole YouTube channel on that. In other ones, I have just tried to commentate the game. I realised that got boring dead quick. In other ones, I've not even played the sound, and that's even more boring. In other ones, I've played music over it, and again, not the most entertaining. So, what I've kind of evolved to now is either life updates or story time. And I think last time was story time, because I think I uploaded it on Tuesday. Because on Monday, when I was on my lunch for college, I went into town and met WWE referee Charles Robinson. In that video, I mentioned he was here for a WWE show in Newcastle, and today I am talking about that show that I went to. So, I finished college at 4:30 and doors opened at 6, so I was like, well, you know what, might as well just go straight there, obviously. And God, I think I did get there for about 4:30 because I think I finished early. So I was waiting outside for about an hour and a half, and I waited at the place I waited last time, where there's a fence and you can see the cars that pull in, and we can say superstars and like shout their name and whatever. Last year, CM Punk came over and I was inches away from the guy. And the same thing happened this year, but at this point I wasn't that bothered. I was cold. We'd been waiting there for ages. We'd seen barely anyone, and then the bus pulled in, but I'd already got a space in the queue at that point because I knew my seat was banging, and I just thought, I've seen this all before. I just want to get in because I'm going to be close enough to the wrestlers. I want to see Charles Robinson again. Lo and behold, CM Punk came to the fence and then saying a couple of things and whatever. It's CM Punk. He's not a massive deal to me. Obviously, he's a legend in the game, but like when I've been that close to him, I'm not his biggest fan personally. I can live without it, you know. So yeah, I finally got into the venue. Very easy to get in, might I just say. And I thought, right, before I do anything, because I was originally wanting to get a good place in the queue, and honestly, I really could have had a nice place in the queue because I got there quite early, but I decided to go wait by that fence. I decided I'm going to go straight at my seat, verify that it's the type of seat I think it is, and then just lock it in. So I went and found my seat. And by the way, they opened the doors at 6, and these motherfuckers would let us in the venue, but not in, like, the arena. Like, they wouldn't let us go to our seats until, like, 6:30, which I just think is so pathetic. What are you doing? Like, they're just delaying everything. Bear in mind, the show didn't start till 7:30. I know they're from America, and they've been traveling all over, and they're jet lagged and that shit, but 7:30? Brother, people got places to be the next day. It's still a weekday, you know? So that's mental, but whatever. I finally got in. I went to my seat, and my suspicions were right. It was row B, section C. Which, if you don't know what that means, that is right in front of the fucking ring. I am on the second row. There was one person between me and the ringside. And that was a very large person in front of me that was quite hard to see over. I didn't think it would be that hard to see over them given, you know, where I was sat, but it was. And to be honest, don't feel bad for me. There was kids like either side of me that couldn't see, you know, their parents had bought them like a lovely second row seat and they couldn't fucking see because these 6-foot motherfuckers booked out the whole first row. And again, you know, there's people behind you who shout and all this sort of stuff. It's kind of the same as sitting in the stands. You've just got a way better view. And to be honest, I couldn't believe some of the shit I was seeing, you know. Like, some of the people who were in front of me was insane. But before the show started, I thought, right, I'll get a drink. I said I didn't want to buy food at the show, and I'd bought food prior to the show because I know how expensive arenas can be. So I went to go get a drink. I was looking at the menu and I thought, oh, I can drink alcohol now. And the Guinness was the most reasonably priced one, because they're all extortionate. And the Guinness was like probably one of the cheapest beer and lager options besides I can't remember what it was. I think it was either a Bud or a John Smith. I was like, okay, I'm just going to get a Guinness. And it was £7. I thought, I'll suck that up. So I was like, oh, can I have a Guinness, please? And they looked shocked as if it wasn't on the menu and asked their colleagues if they sold it and whatever. And they went looking for it and they went, no, we couldn't find one. I literally see one in the fridge, but I think it was a Guinness Light, I think. So fair enough. So she's like, oh, I've not got a Guinness, but the one over there, the stall over there is good. And they're thinking I'm going to stand back in another 10-minute queue to go get a Guinness. I was like, no, it's fine. I'll get a Moretti. The Moretti, by the way, which is not, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's not the same quality as a Guinness, but was £9. More than that, it was like £9.50. Like, what? I was only going to have one. I wasn't going to get drunk. I wanted to remember the night, So, Jesus Christ. Anyways, I took that to my seat. I didn't want to do nothing until the show started. I seen Charles Robinson up close. He didn't say his. He might have forgot his. Don't know. Maybe he just didn't say his. God, no. Maybe he doesn't give a shit. The first match out, by the way. First match out was Gunther versus Sami Zayn. Now, obviously, we all love to sing along to Sami's theme, but I was 1,000% rooting for Gunther. I love Gunther 10 times more than I love Sami. Sorry, Sami. And obviously, the whole crowd was behind Sami anyways. But that's literally, that was a WrestleMania match, last year. That's mental. And we just got it on the opener of our house show. So sick, man. And eventually, Gunther got the win with Sami tapping. The inevitable. Who can complain? I won't. The next match was a 6-woman tag match. The Kabuki Warriors with Roxanne Perez. Raquel Rodriguez was there. No Liv Morgan. Makes no sense because Roxanne and Liv are the tag team right now, but whatever. And that was against Alexa, Charlotte, and Bayley. No Lyra Valkyria there either. To be honest, it was just nice to hear these themes and see the match, to be honest. Obviously, you can imagine who won. It was Alexa, Charlotte, and Bayley. Pretty obvious win. Let's be honest. Then the match after that, we had Shinsuke Nakamura. Obviously, they know what they're doing. They're going international crowds. Let's play the themes that get sang. Let's do the chants that go over. So it was Shinsuke Nakamura versus Ilya Dragunov. And I was like, oh shit, we've seen this match before. Pretty decent match. And to my surprise, Shinsuke Nakamura actually got the win. Clean as well. He wasn't playing a heel. And to be honest, that was nice to see. It was bittersweet because it's a house show, so it's is that the only time Nakamura can get a win? Plus, that makes Dragunov look a bit weaker, I suppose. But it was also sweet because, it shows WWE somewhat still value Shinsuke Nakamura. And to be honest, if I liked either one the more, it would probably be Shinsuke. So I was quite happy I saw that. And then the next was going to be Javon versus Bron Breakker. Javon Evans, that is. Which is a mental match. And then Bronson Reed came out, attacked him. Here comes CM Punk to the rescue. And we got the Vision, Braun and Bronson, versus Javon Evans and CM Punk. No Paul Heyman. Don't know why. But whatever. So that was a match and a half. Javon Evans did a lot of the work, I'll be honest. And eventually it was CM Punk and Javon Evans getting the win. With Javon Evans getting the pin, by the way, off of a frog splash. So that was pretty cool. And then Javon Evans and CM Punk I got pretty close to when they came out and started shaking hands in my section. And that was the first half. Then they said, we'll take an intermission. That's the first half. And then I went off and I thought, you know what, I'm actually hungry because I realised I'm not good at crowds. I can't shout very loud. And even when I try to shout, my voice will break. I'm by myself. I didn't bring anyone with us, so I just feel awkward, chanting and shouting, even though the kids around us all over the place, women, people of all ages, right? I should not be ashamed. Everyone else around me is chanting. There's nothing to be ashamed of, but I didn't feel like it, I enjoy watching it from the comfort of my own home, where in my head I'm going crazy, but my facial expressions, there's none. So I thought, I'm going to go get some food, even though I said I wasn't going to. Plus, I want to look at the merch stand, because it's ceremonial. I always get a t-shirt. When I went in October, I walked away with something. I can't remember. Because last time when I went in August last time, it was Stephanie Vaquer shirt. And then when I went in October with my girlfriend, I got something else, but I can't remember what it is now, to be honest. Couldn't remember if I tried. So I thought, I'm going to go have a look. And I was looking, and it was really hard to decide from, because I was really liking the look of the Penta shirt. But there was so many other people there that I like more than Penta. I just like the t-shirt more, like a Randy Orton one. I'm like, there's no way I can have a Penta t-shirt before I have a Randy Orton t-shirt. And I've already got a John Cena t-shirt, but this Goodbye John Cena t-shirt was really intriguing. Plus, the Cody Rhodes one. I'm not too bothered if I don't have a Cody Rhodes theme t-shirt, but it had Newcastle on it. So I was like, do I go with that one? And eventually, I just went with Nonia's, because I got to the front and I seen this golden John Cena retirement tour annual thing, like this little book thing. I was like, do you know what? I'm going to get that. And that was half the price that a t-shirt were anyway. So it was quite a steal. It was a memento, and it ended my kerfuffle, and it was cheaper. But the food wasn't cheap, because like there was no good options. I seen someone earlier with pizza. Why couldn't I find the pizza space? You know, the places I found were hot dogs and chips and that. And, you know, chips themselves were like a ridiculous price. I ended up paying like 11 quid for hot dog and chips. Ridiculous, but whatever. It's quite filling, to be fair. I was full by the end of the chips, so I'll give them credit on that. And then the intermission ended, and we had 3 matches in the second half, and they were starting off with Becky Lynch, Maxine Dupree, where Becky's defending the Intercontinental Championship, which makes no sense, right? I get, like, it's good for the crowd, and I shouldn't be complaining, but why are we getting this on a house show when Becky is literally defending that belt against Maxine in a couple of days on Raw? Like, what? I'm not going to complain, but damn. And it was nice to see Becky Lynch live. I think I've seen her live before, but it was in 2019. I can barely remember it, you know. I was young then, so yeah, that was pretty cool. And then, what was before the main event? Can I remember? This is the struggle I have. I can't remember a lot of things. Let's see. What was it? Who was there? Who was it? I swear I remember. I'll remember at some point. It's going to come to me. It's going to come to me. Wow. Because I know the main event. The main event was... I remember it. It was the rematch. The 4v4. It was the Wyatt 6 versus MFT. Except this time it was a bit different, right? Last time when we saw it on SmackDown, JC Mateo was at ringside and Solo Sikoa was in the match. This time Solo was at ringside and JC Mateo was in the match. And Solo had the lantern and all that. And it was so cool seeing the Wyatt entrance live. Like, loved it. And then obviously the Wyatt 6 got the win. Eric Rowan was in that match, you know. So it was so weird to, like, see him not on SmackDown in London when the rest of the Wyatt 6 were there. I was so baffled by it, to be honest, but it is what it is. And then the main event, Drew McIntyre. To think, days before the live show that I was going to, Drew McIntyre wins the Undisputed WWE Championship, comes back to the UK. And by the way, we were all chanting Drew McIntyre. There was a couple of kids in that chanting Cody Rhodes, but we were all chanting for Drew McIntyre. But he still had to do his heel shtick. That's it. That's the word I was looking for. And boo us and say we're not worthy, you know, and all this sort of stuff. And he ran a match with Cody Rhodes for the Undisputed WWE Championship, a rematch already. Like, what the hell? And then, obviously, there was no proper ending because they wouldn't give us something that good. Drew got himself disqualified with a low blow. Not going to complain, to be honest. And then, to end the night, Cody gave away a piece of the table to a little kid, so that was pretty cool. So yeah, that was my experience at WWE Live in Newcastle in the second row. What a time to be alive. Can't believe I was that lucky. Thank you all so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.